Today we're going to address the Velo and the Velo Pro. That's the F504 and the F505. The first thing that I think you should do, and I do think, you can do this upon going out to a job site, but really and truly, I would recommend doing it when you bring it back after a job and you want to inspect it. You want to clean it, make sure everything's functioning so that when you do go to a new job, it's going to be ready to go and it won't disappoint you. So the first thing that I do really and truly would encourage you to do is literally inspect every inch of this power cord, make sure that it's not frayed, make sure there's no tears or pulls or anything like that. I want you to plug the plug in, and this plug lights up if there's power at the wall. In order to disassemble it and get inside of it, in order to clean it, you want to take the 6 bolts off on the bottom. I'm using a drill motor right now, and I'm going to do this for speed, and it's okay to do this when you're taking it apart. But when you go to reassemble it, you should use a ratchet or at least start them by hand prior to running them in. The next thing that you want to do is remove the 4 bolts on the top. And then we're going to open the unit up, and you simply do that by turning it back over and popping it up. What you actually want to do is get underneath, get a good grip on it. You have to understand that sometimes they get hung up, and it's the zip ties that are hung up on the edge of the shell. But usually, if you yank on it really hard, they will come loose. After the motor comes out, you've got simply the shell here. You can use some mild dish detergent. And make yourself up a light formula and simply wipe it down with a wet rag and dry it off. It's important to look at the motor, to look at the fins on the blade in order to get any dust or dirt out of it. And there will be dust and dirt because, like I said, if it's in the environment, it's going to end up in here. So after we have the electrical box assembling cover on, we want to take the blower assembly and we want to put it back on here. We want to line the feet up with the holes in the cover, and at the same time we want to make sure that we get all of the wiring tucked in tightly and that it's not going to affect any of the operation. So after the mounting feet are lined up, what you want to do is to put the housing back on here, kind of line it all up, put it down, and start replacing the bolts, get them all started, and then go back and tighten them up at the end. I start them by hand when I can do it. I run them in then with a ratchet. I don't force anything. I don't want to get anything cross-threaded. So I snug them down, but I don't tighten them all the way down. Then I return it over and I do the other side. There are 6 bolts in this side, the bottom side. There are additional 4 on the other side. Okay. So now that you've got it back together, you want to again inspect it visually, make sure that everything is okay, and we're going to plug it in and run it. Again, I want to encourage you to clean your units. I want you to do preventative maintenance, save yourself money and time.